Guy driving the car with the new category sponsor on the side. Pit Lane Clothing. John Venoris next. Richard Howe rear of grid, and Vlad Kennedy also rear of the grid. Vlad Kennedy taking his spot now, and we are all set for a race start. The final race for the weekend for the 888 Home Loans. Pit Lane Clothing, Porsche 944s. Set to go, and lights out. Looks like Jamie Westerway getting the jump there on Bella. Bella grabs second gear, powers it on. Westerway goes side by side, sticks with it. Just has to yield at the end there. Torbert's through very nicely with Tony Westerway. Tony Westerway now has Adam Brewer to deal with as he looks to the inside at turn 3. And the number 3 just dips across in front. Wasn't alongside, so play on is the call there. And Mark Torbert's now just getting a little bit away from the number 3 of Westerway, and with Adam Brewer charging there, you get the feeling the number 31 is in a big hurry. The 41, Vlad Kennedy, horrendous weekend continues there as it's getting very racy right up the front. The number 3 coming under massive pressure from Adam Brewer. Michael Westerway just off in the background of that battle. There's the orange car there as they start to bobble their way through that cleavage section, or the Gumtree corner, and the number 74 for Mark Torbert's unfortunately a jump start. I think that's a 5-second penalty there, so that is not what Mark Torbert's wanted to see here this weekend. And gee, the judges of fact have been all over that here today. So Mark Torbert's unfortunately in the number 74, currently P3 on the road. He wants to get well clear of those around him and make sure he's got a bit of a buffer by the end of his 10 laps, which could easily happen. Tony Westerway is next in the lineup as we look down to Keith Mariner, Andy Tudor and Mark Verdino. Unfortunately, the 41 of Vlad Kennedy parked up. Not what we wanted to see. Of course, parked up. One of the great podcasts going around. Check it out. Motorsport podcast with Tony D'Alberto and Grant Rowley. The number 8 looks up the inside on the 64 there, Keith Mariner, and has to fall into line. So Richard Howe, starting out of 15th, has already made his way up a couple of spots. And at the moment, the timing system not giving me any sort of results out of this race. We've already done one lap, not being shown on the timing sheet. So Richard Howe there in the number 8, sitting just inside the top 10 now. Started out of 15, pushing very, very hard indeed. There's our race leader, Cameron Bella. Back to Jamie Westerway, car number 1. Had a great season last year, and we just a little bit at the moment flying a little bit blind. There is a timing issue, and we'll just keep an eye on this race. Cameron Bella has actually come back now. Cameron Bella has gone around with a 141 on the standing start for lap 1 in the 888 Home Loans Porsche 944 race, and leading the way in the 55, car 1 right behind Jamie Westerway. We cast our eyes back. It'll be Mark Torbert's, who does have that start line infringement hanging over him, and currently sitting in P3. It'll be Tony Westerway to Adam Brewer has now gone through on Michael Westerway, and car number 20, Andrew Jackman, has got clear of the battle behind him, which is Carter Fox, and back to Josh Brisbane there as well. There's our race leader, car number 55, multiple champion in this category, and always acquits himself very, very well. Has the lovely Bella Motorsport truck. You'll see that heading off down the highway on the way home today, preparing a couple of cars and certainly offering up advice to the field. There's Carter Fox, car number 7, with Mark Verdino going through as well. Josh Brisbane. There's Dick Howe. Oh, and that's a massive one there. Not sure how that happened. In fact, car 7, I'm pretty sure that the green car there just went sideways all of his own, and Carter Fox arrived on the scene. The number 56 didn't couldn't quite see that, but it's certainly done some damage to the front of Carter Fox's car, right underneath the Poolmaster sign. But yeah, not sure. I'm pretty sure that Fox wasn't into that car until it broke sideways on him. And when you're following so closely, inevitably you end up coming together like that. So not going to blow the whistle on that one just yet. We need to leave that to the officials trackside that would have had a close eye on that. We go back to the lead of this race. And it's Cameron Bella. Crests the hill on the old start-finish straight here at Winton Motor Raceway. The property looking very good, freshly mowed. And the safety crew or the recovery crew here have done a tremendous job right around the track. We'll see if we can get that replay just one more time. I'm not prepared to throw anyone under the bus just yet. There it is from the tail angle. Disappears behind the tree where the contact occurred, but certainly they were in close quarters with each other, and that's what we could see from the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship cameras covering this event. The Blendline TV crew working a tremendous job here this weekend and bringing fantastic footage out there. And of course, if you're watching via any of the social media platforms and you want uninterrupted vision from the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships, you can catch it all live today on blendline.tv/live. And talking about live on screen now, we've got the number 3 of Anthony Westaway with Adam Brewer, who hasn't been able to get through on Tony at the moment. And Adam Brewer in the AVI Technology EJM 944 really trying to get through. The other interesting thing is that Michael Westaway is starting to range up on the 3 of them there as well. Mark Torbert's just a slight gap out in front of those guys there. He needs to see at least 5 seconds between himself and Tony Westaway. So I guess he would be very happy to see these 3 engage in a battle, and ultimately the lap times start to suffer, and Michael and Mark Torberts can just gather his thoughts and try and get away from this group to try and cover off that post-race penalty. At the moment, it will see him drop behind these 3 in results, and when you're trying to piece together a championship, that's not going to work out tremendously well for you. Brewer looks to the inside now. Ever the protagonist, he gets right up beside the number 3 there, and they're going on those alternative lines through the Gumtree part of the track around the top end, around turn 9. See who can flow the car the best here. And in fact, at the moment, each corner is just drawing the number 45 closer in to this battle. In fact, the gap between the 31 and the 45 of Brewer and Westaway is now closer than the battle to Tony Westaway. How would Adam Brewer feel? He's got 2 Westaways either side of him, battling away. And out in front at the moment, Cameron Bella is battling away with Jamie Westaway, and that hasn't, we haven't seen Bella drive off to the distance. Jamie's actually staying right with him in this race in the lead. In the Triple Eight Home Loans Porsche 944s, their new clothing sponsor on board, Pit Lane Clothing, emblazoned down the side of Jack Atlee's car. Jack Atlee currently down there in the number 35 in position number 12. Just in front of him is Andy Tudor and Keith Mariner. There's Richard Howe, just off the back of this battle here. This is for position 8, 7, 8 and 9 on the road. That's Andy Jackman with Mark Fedino and Richard Howe. Good drive there from Mark Fedino, started out of 12th. Currently in 8th, so up some good spots there in this one. It's good to see some progress there. Jackman in the number 20 actually started out of 7th in this race and holding on to 7th. And there's the charging Richard Howe, the veteran of Porsche 944 racing, numerous categories over the years. Had a great time for many years in Oz cars on the Thunderdome. And Richard Howe just losing the back of Mark Verdino in the last couple of corners. We are on lap 6, so half race distance for the feature race for the weekend, and a big dive out of the last corner for the number 44 there. Sorry, no, turn 10 up into 11 and 12 now. So Mark Verdino, it's a massive move there on Jackman. So swaps it over that position as they head to the line to complete lap number 7. So a little bit of a timing glitch at the start of this race has just thrown a little bit of confusion around the completed laps in this race. So the 44 now in 7th place. Great number to have when you're racing in the 944s is 44. Blend into the environment very nicely indeed. The number 20 Poolmaster car of Andrew Jackman. Here we go, up with Brewer, who again still hasn't been able to get through on Tony Westaway, but Michael Westaway in the 45 ranging very strongly up behind. Some great shots here. The Blendline TV crew position their cameras in some really good spots here this weekend, giving us great coverage around the Winton layout. So the 51 now just trying to get back in this race here. There's Mark Torberts. Sorry, the 31, not the 51 of Adam Brewer. They've closed the gap up on Mark Torberts over the last 2 laps at the front of this race. So the cars come over the strike. They've now completed 7 laps, start up on their 8th journey around. So now is the time where if Adam Brewer wants to start to impress and get himself a better result, he really does have to apply the thumb screws to Tony Westaway and Mark Torberts, and he has to do it now if he's got anything left in the tank. Any little demon tweaks that he can think up, throw something different at them, think outside the square, use a different line on a different corner, see if you can throw the guys in front off. At the moment, he's just a little bit too far away to throw one, to send it at the car number 3. Certainly all of them at the moment, they've just got to, I'm not going to say with 2 laps to go, work together, because we've left that thought pattern a couple of laps ago. Mark Torberts will now be working very hard. The number 3 just spears off. Didn't even make the turn into the corner. Same with Richard Howe. Didn't make it to the corner, albeit on a different part of the track. Richard Howe up at the water tank at turn 7. And the number 3 there of Tony Westaway, that was at turn 9. Didn't even make the corner, tried to turn it, and it just went straight on in the West Bond Management Triple Eight Home Loans Porsche Cars Australia race. And what that does is it gives Adam Brewer the opportunity to see if he can range up onto the back of Mark Torberts, albeit with not a lot of race left to contend with. But we're just seeing Tony Westaway just disappearing off the timesheets. Brewer now into position number 4. He's got a fresh motivation to go out after the last spot on the podium after Mark Torberts. And right behind him is the 45. So you get rid of one Westaway and there's another one that attacks you. Out in front at the moment, we're seeing, oh, there's Richard Howe going off at the entry to turn 7. A real tricky part of Winton. In fact, that is one of the trickiest corners in Australian motorsport. You come out of the sweeper on camber, then it throws you off camber. Here it is again. Another replay. Oh, that's at turn 9, where we see Tony Westaway going off, and he hasn't actually managed to get going again. He is stricken out at the corner there. But certainly where Richard Howe went off, he's not the first one to do that. That grabs your attention, that corner. If you haven't quite put it through there, or if you've got your eyes further up the road than what they should be, and throw it all away. So we're looking now at the race leader, Cameron Bella in the number 55. Checkered flag up in the air. So Cameron Bella will take 3 from 3. Jamie Westaway will be scratching his head. 0.3 of a second behind, going, how am I going to take it up to Cam now? I had a great run at Sandown, and now Cam Bella is back and takes a victory in car number 55. A great result there. Mark Torbitz hangs on to his P5. Some respect coming past my vantage point here at the track there with Cameron Bella and Jamie Westaway just acknowledging each other and thanking each other for a good, hard, clean race. And that's what we like to see with the Porsche 944s, the 888 home loans with their new clothing sponsor, Pit Lane Clothing. Cars coming to the line still. So Cameron Bella takes the W and rides off into the sunset. We'll see him at Phillip Island at the next round, round number 3. Jamie Westaway into P2. Got some work to do there, scratching of the head. I suggest it's about getting that car off the line because they always qualify next to each other on the front row. But it's Bella that gets that first to second gear change and just starts to ease away already early in the race. Mark Torbitz into P3, Adam Brewer, Michael Westaway, Mark Verdino, Adam Jackman, Richard Howe into position number 8, Keith Mariner, Carter Fox, Andy Tudor, Jack Atley in the Pit Lane Clothing Company car home in 13th. A couple of guys there with some thoughts that they don't want to harbour for too long. Get out of Winton and look to the next race at Phillip Island and try and drag a better result from that weekend. So they'll be looking to the 15th and 16th of May at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit for round 3 of the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships. Check it all out at www.vicstateraceseries.com, and there it is on your screen. The next round at Phillip Island, 13th and 14th of May. Head to Sandown. It's always a great venue to head to, 12, 13, 14 of August, whilst we've still got it, because there is still rumours around about the redevelopment of that site. So make sure we use Sandown as much as we possibly can and respect what a gem we've got there in the suburbs of Melbourne. 23rd, 24th, 25th of September at Phillip Island. I'm going to catch my breath and we'll be back with plenty more racing as we go into the feature races part of the afternoon for the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships. MG and invited British cars on track next. Back soon.